What is going on, Eye Warriors? It's your boy Edward V, and today we're going to talk about a study that actually shows the 16-8 method being utilized without counting calories and resulting in more weight loss over the control group. We're going to go ahead and break down that study in this video. Stay tuned. This is a pilot study, and this video is going to be a quick video where I just break that pilot study down very quickly for you. But just to let you know, I don't want anyone to be misled. Yes, they didn't count calories, but nor did the control group. So both groups were able to eat as much as they wanted. There was no intervention with the food. But basically what this study result is alluding to is that being at a caloric deficit is much easier when your eating window is smaller, even if you're not paying attention to the caloric intake. Having a time window that says that you can no longer eat will keep you from snacking, will keep you from doing midnight snacks, additional meals, whatever the case may be, is showing that it can actually assist you in reducing your caloric intake. Now, both weight and BMI was reduced with a probability value less than 0.05, which makes it statistically significant. The weight loss was reduced with a p-value of 0.001, which makes it very statistically significant, as the 16-8 group lost about 3% of their body weight. Now, all the other body composition and weight markers did not have a probability value that was significant. However, when looking at the breakdown of all those markers, you'll notice that the control group moved in no direction at all. They were told, eat whatever you want, as much as you want, and the fasting group was told, eat how much you want, eat whatever you want, and they were able to move their numbers in a more positive direction. Now, for the weight, you'll notice that the average lean mass was 50 and it held up. The lean mass was protected. It was 50. Same thing with the group that had no intervention, and it was 52 and 52. So none of the lean masses moved from either group, but none of them were told to be at a caloric restriction. So this appears to be a predictable result based on the criteria of the study. But however, you can see that there is a reduction in the fat mass with the 16-8 group, further assisting with more data that intermittent fasting can provide an effective tool to lose weight that is predominantly and effectively targeting fat loss. And of course, since the other intervention group did not lose any weight at all, there were no markers that moved in any direction, even the fat mass. Now, this was just a 12-week trial with 23 participants, and it was also using a control group from a previous trial. So it wasn't a randomized control trial. It was a group that was selected from a previous trial that utilized alternate day fasting. Randomized control trial where both groups are in the exact same time frame is pretty important, considering that the control trial that they used was from about 3 years back. However, the obesity epidemic has just increased, so I can't imagine that the food choices were any healthier back then than they would be now. Also, another thing to note is that this may not carry over for everyone, because these were metabolically healthy obese adults. Although they were obese, metabolically speaking, the participants were actually healthy. Those are various limitations that this study has, but why I wanted to talk about this study is because it shows one of the greater attributes of intermittent fasting: the ability to automatically reduce your caloric intake simply by reducing the eating window. Even if you're not paying attention to what you're eating and how many calories you're consuming, you have a greater opportunity to be at a caloric deficit with an intermittent fasting protocol than you can without an intermittent fasting protocol, when you're just simply eating as much as you want. And then when you start to implement calorie restriction, food control, food quality control, looking at your macros, and maneuver yourself in a better position to use the intermittent fasting protocol and make it as effective as possible. I'll go ahead and link that study down below if you want to go ahead and take a look at it for yourself. It's a pretty interesting study design. And of course, I want to thank my patrons from my Patreon, and I'm going to go ahead and put their names right up here.